reminiscing our love story. They had been married for years, long enough for the excitement to disappear beneath grocery lists, school schedules, unpaid bills, sleepless nights, and the endless rhythm of raising children. They still loved each other. At least she believed they did. But love had become quiet. Too quiet. There were no more surprise kisses in the kitchen. No spontaneous dates. No long conversations until 2 in the morning. No moments when he looked at her as if she were the only woman in the world. Her husband was there, and somehow he wasn't. Every night they climbed into the same bed. Sometimes they touched. Sometimes they made love. But even that had become mechanical, quick, predictable, almost like something they were supposed to do rather than something they desperately wanted. And afterward, they simply turned away and went to sleep. For years, she told herself it was normal. This was marriage. This was what happened after children. This was adulthood. But sometimes, lying beside him in the darkness, she wondered, where did I go? When did she stop feeling beautiful? When did she stop feeling desired? When did the woman he once couldn't keep his hands off become just another part of his daily routine? She didn't know how to talk about it. She didn't even know how to explain it to herself. She wasn't looking for another man. She didn't want another life. She just wanted to feel alive again. She wanted to remember what it felt like to be looked at with hunger, tenderness, and wonder. Then, one night she had a dream. And in that dream, they weren't married. They didn't have children. They had no responsibilities. They didn't even know each other. She was standing barefoot on a white sand beach, the ocean stretching endlessly behind her. The sun was warm against her skin. She was wearing sunglasses when she noticed a tall man walking toward her. He was athletic, broad-shouldered, with dark hair and an effortless confidence. A stranger, a beautiful stranger. He stopped in front of her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she slowly removed her sunglasses. He did the same. Their eyes met, and something inside her changed. He stared at her as if he had forgotten how to breathe. Then, in his slightly broken English, he whispered, God, you were beautiful, like an angel. She smiled, not the polite smile she gave people every day. A real smile, the kind she had almost forgotten she possessed. They spent the afternoon talking. Then they went to a little restaurant near the beach. They laughed, they teased each other. They looked into each other's eyes far too long. Later, they found themselves dancing in a small club by the water. The music was loud, but somehow she could hear only his voice. She could feel his hand in hers. His eyes never left hers. And for the first time in years, she felt like a woman again. Not a mother, not a wife, not someone responsible for everyone else's happiness. Just a woman, desired, beautiful, alive. Eventually, they returned to their hotel. The door closed behind them, and suddenly the world became quiet. He stood in front of her. She could see the struggle in his eyes, the way he tried to control his breathing, trying not to rush toward her, but the tension between them was unbearable. He touched her face. She closed her eyes, and then he kissed her. The dream slowed down. Everything became almost unreal. His hands, her breath, the warmth of his body, the way they kept finding each other's lips as if they had been separated for years. Instead of hours, she felt heat spreading through every part of her. It wasn't simply desire. It was something deeper, something she couldn't explain, as if every forgotten emotion inside her had suddenly awakened at once. They held each other tightly, and in that moment, it felt as though two souls were finally finding their way back home. The rest of the world disappeared. There were no children, no responsibilities, no exhaustion, no years of silence. Only them, and the love they had once believed could never disappear. The intensity of it overwhelmed her. She began to cry, not because she was sad, because she had forgotten what it felt like to be loved like this, to want, to be wanted, to feel completely seen. Then, she woke up. Her heart was pounding. Her breathing was uneven. Her whole body still felt warm, as though the dream had followed her back into reality. She lay completely still for a moment. Then she slowly turned her head. Her husband was awake. His eyes were open, and he was smiling. She stared at him in confusion. He looked at her for several seconds before quietly asking, Asterisk, you dreamed about us, didn't you? Her heart stopped. She swallowed. How do you know? His smile disappeared. He reached for her hand, and for the first time in years, he looked at her the way he used to, not as the mother of his children, not as his wife, but as the woman he had once fallen desperately in love with. I had the same dream, he whispered. She froze. Neither of them spoke. Outside, the first light of morning was beginning to appear, and suddenly, after all these years, they were lying in the same bed, but seeing each other for the first time. Maybe love hadn't disappeared. Maybe they had simply forgotten how to look for it. And sometimes, all it takes is one dream to remind two people of what they once were, and what they could still become.